Now, we're going to be looking at the various coronations of the Hinduism. Here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was first ordained as the 213th Guru Mahasannidhanam, which is the Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvanyapitam, Titonde Mandaladinam. Then, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was also coronated as the incumbent emperor of Suryavamshi Surangi Sambrajya. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was then coronated as the 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargopuramadinam, as the 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shyamlapita Sarvanyapitam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also been coronated as the present Mahamandaleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akhada, which is the largest apex monastic order of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also been coronated as the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is the head of all spiritual leaders of Atal Akhada, which is the ancient-most apex body of Hinduism. We can also see here the ceremony of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation over 1,000 Hindu pontiffs, Hindu leaders. The sovereign state of Sri Kailasa is a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation, enlightenment for all of humanity. Kailasa's mission is to revive and share with today's world the practical applications of the greater sciences of authentic Hinduism, including Hindu cosmic physics, Hindu alchemy, Hindu cosmology, Hindu biology, Hindu mathematics, power manifestation, and other sciences, as revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These sciences were once practiced freely in over 56 nations across the continent, but are now facing extinction due to the persecution over a millennium. Yes, sorry for the technical glitch. Now, moving on, we have the 108 Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations initiatives. Sri Kailasa Uniting Nation initiatives are 108 different initiatives supporting a variety of humanitarian efforts, humanitarian services, which collectively allow for the creation of an enlightened, peaceful, sustainable, equitable, resilient, and thriving world. One of these projects of these initiatives by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations is the No Hungry Home project offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for nutritious food and a hunger-free world. 1 billion meals have been served over the past 27 years. Every month for the past 27 years, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the Hindu ASMT community has served more than 3 million annadans, which are the free organic meals as per the tradition, in religious gatherings to everyone without discrimination. 10,000 meals are served daily free of cost and up to 100,000 meals on festival days. You can also see here photos of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself on many occasions serving and doing the Annadan. Now we are looking at one of Kailasa's protective and preventive COVID care centers offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for affordable and holistic healthcare. During the pandemic, which was a global event which each and every one of us have been affected from, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism converted his own monasteries, campuses into multi-layer quarantine facilities, free for all people, regardless of any difference in age, in gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, or social economic status. Food, shelter, internet, and all basic facilities, including free medical care, were provided for an indefinite amount of time, as long as these people taking refuge were stayed and needed. Around 30 million citizens followed Kailasa's 28-day spiritual regimen in the year 2020. Here now we're looking at one of the United Nations projects by Sri Kailasa for education reform and development. The Nithyananda Hindu University, which is the largest Hindu university established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as well as the Nithyananda Gurukul. The Nithyananda Gurukul on October 2nd, 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism inaugurated the Nithyananda Gurukul, the revival of the ancient Adi Shaivite Guru disciple education system, which is an authentic knowledge transmission system based on enlightenment. Nithyananda Hindu University has more than 20 million people enrolled, more than 7,000 free courses, and extended campuses in 150 countries. Here now we can see the Nithyananda Jnanalaya project and Hinduismpedia project offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for the protection of Hindu scriptures. The Nithyananda Jnanalaya project, the Nithyananda Hindu Jnanalaya project, was established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to collect and preserve the 1 million Hindu scriptures while ensuring that knowledge is made accessible and shared free of cost to all. Collecting and preserving 1 million source books of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has authored more than 10,000 books in 3 different languages, and these books have been translated into 50 other different languages, published 10,000 articles, and has given 10,000 plus hours of free discourses on YouTube with more than 1 billion views. Kailasa's Hinduismpedia is a collection where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has collected more than 15 terabytes of digital material, digital books, and rare manuscripts from all 19 Sarvingapitams, ancient mutts, and ashrams. 1 million pages on Hinduism collection of 22,000 digital books, 1,000 e-text books, and 100,000 articles on various topics in Hinduism. Yes, here we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations project for global peace and religious harmony. In the year 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together in harmony from all walks of life to promote feeling connection and oneness among people. During the walk, health camps were conducted in villages along its path. One of the other projects being offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations is the Project for Feminine Empowerment and Gender Equality. Kailasa's Yogini Sarvangapeetham established yoga and meditation universities to empower the quality of life and emphasis on life solutions through Vedas and Agamas, empowering the indigenous rural women, fighting against wrongful gender stereotyping, gender-based violence, and lack of inclusive and quality learning environments. Some of these initiatives include the Kailasa's Nithyananda Lakshmi project, which is a microfinancing service, Kailasa's Women Foundation and Women Empowerment Self-Help Centers, which have been launched in 108 different places around the world since 2009. Kailasa's Ankita program, which provides foundational literacy about working on basic community service and infrastructure establishments. Kailasa's Ashriya program, providing vocational training programs to rural and indigenous women to provide equal opportunities and access to independent, self-sufficient financial environments to them. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the Vedic feminism in Kailasa, where 80% of all leadership positions are occupied by women. Here we can see the Nithyananda Yoga being offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for yoga. The Nithyananda Kriyas are 108 scientifically validated Kriyas revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, specifically targeting the 108 major diseases and disorders such as diabetes, arthritis, blood pressure, and so on. The revival of the ancient tradition forms of yoga, which are the Shivastambha Yoga, the Rope Yoga, and the Kundalini Raju Yoga, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, is reviving all these different ancient art forms and yoga forms, as well as weight balancing techniques to perform to create yogic physiology, aligning it to cosmic geometry and manifesting superconscious powers. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also been awarded 2 Guinness World Records for the largest rope yoga, Kundalini yoga, and the largest pole yoga, Shivastambha yoga classes, bringing worldwide attention to these extraordinary forms of yoga. These world records, Guinness World Records, were established on the 30th of September and the 3rd of October. Here we can see one of the most historic moments of Sri Kailasa, where the first nation of Hindus, Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, spoke on behalf of 2 billion global Hindu diasporas at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. This is a significant milestone in the history of Hindus and the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa. Happened on the December 2nd, 2021. His Excellency Sri Nitya Moksha Priyananda, Ambassador Extraordinary and of Kailasa, represented the persecution of Hindus as the 14th session of the United Nations on minority issues. The theme of the forum was conflict prevention and the protection of human rights of minorities. This was the first time the plight of persecuted Hindu minorities was represented in the United Nations. The systematic generational attacks on Hindu indigenous traditions were highlighted. Over 70 different assassination attempts and physical attack on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism have happened in India and abroad as well. 40 attacks on community members, destruction of monasteries and temples. Over 60 incidents of attacks, molestation and rape of women and women monks. Intense lawfare through the 100 different false legal cases on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, all but one have been dismissed. Not only that, but the intersectional persecution being used by the entire government, politically owned media, police, and judiciary controlled by politicians, inciting mob violence through the social media. These are just but a glimpse of the vast persecution which has been happening on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. But despite all this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been continuing to contribute and give back to this very same society. In this next segment of today's program, we're going to be looking at one of the most extraordinary and one of the most important contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to all of us, which is the science of power manifestation. After a short break, we're going to be seeing what is the science of power manifestation, the reference of the power manifestation from the original Shastras, as well as a live demonstration of these powers. Please stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.
A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover their superhuman possibilities and help them to find and achieve the true purpose of their birth by giving them the techniques, practices, and methodologies from the Vedagamas, the original source scriptures of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the ancient original Vedas and Agamas in all its glory, in a user-friendly way for the modern mind. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transforming human beings into divine, initiating and replicating the 463 powers from the Agamas revealed by Paramashivam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not just giving solutions for every problem man faces, but is making them irrelevant to their lives by transforming human beings into divine beings.
Listen. Any argument presented by your mind, body, your present reality to establish you are not Paramashiva. You are not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. anything presented to prove you are not Paramashiva is illegitimate. Decide this. This is super determinism. Understand? Anything you declare as illegitimate.
A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover their superhuman possibilities and help them to find and achieve the true purpose of their birth by giving them the techniques, practices, and methodologies from the Vedagamas, the original source scriptures of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the ancient original Vedas and Agamas in all its glory, in a user-friendly way for the modern mind. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transforming human beings into divine beings, reviving, initiating, and replicating the 463 powers from the Agamas revealed by Paramashiva. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not just giving solutions for every problem man faces, but is making them irrelevant to their lives by transforming human beings into divine beings.
Listen. Any argument presented by your mind, body, your present reality to establish you are not Paramashiva. You are not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Anything presented to prove you are not Paramashiva is illegitimate. Decide this. This is super determinism. Understand? Anything you declare as illegitimate will lose power over you, will die in few days, few minutes, maybe in few weeks, whatever few days it takes. It will not have power over you. Understand? This is the method for sudden enlightenment. This is the method for sudden enlightenment. It happens by the Shaktipada. Here Paramashiva is sitting to tell you all, you are Paramashiva, you are me, with Shaktipada and Shaktinipada.
The Dvitiya Vijnasa Krama is an extensive and thorough yoga sequence to prepare your body to receive the experience being given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Through the yoga, which is aligned as per the source scriptures laid down by Paramashiva and the Agamas, you break all the impossibility in your body and in turn break the very cognition of impossibility. The program leads you to go beyond your human frame and limiting human ideas, which prevents you from living your highest possibility.
I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment.
Again I tell you, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God.
Don't wait to become divine. Register now at paramashivoham.org. A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover their superhuman possibilities and help them to find and achieve the true purpose of their birth by giving them the techniques, practices, and methodologies from the Vedagamas, the original source scriptures of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the ancient original Vedas and Agamas in all its glory, in a user-friendly way for the modern mind. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transforming human beings into divine beings, reviving, initiating, and replicating the 463 powers from the Agamas revealed by Paramashiva. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not just giving solutions for every problem man faces, but is making them irrelevant to their lives by transforming human beings into divine beings.
Listen. Any argument presented by your mind, body, your present reality to establish you are not Paramashiva, you are not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Anything presented to prove you are not Paramashiva is illegitimate. Decide this. This is super determinism. Understand? Anything you declare as illegitimate will lose power over you, will die in few days, few minutes, maybe in few weeks, whatever few days it takes. It will not have power over you. Understand, this is the method for sudden enlightenment. This is the method for sudden enlightenment. It happens by the Shaktipada. Here Paramashiva is sitting to tell you all, you are Paramashiva, you are me, with Shaktipada and Shaktinipada.
The Dvitiya Vijnasa Krama is an extensive and thorough yoga sequence to prepare your body to receive the experience being given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Through the yoga, which is aligned as per the source scriptures laid down by Paramashiva and the Agamas, you break all the impossibility in your body and in turn break the very cognition of impossibility. The program leads you to go beyond your human frame and limiting human ideas, which prevents you from living your highest possibility.
I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment.
Again I tell you, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God.
Don't wait to become divine. Register now at paramashivoham.org. A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover this.
I welcome all the viewers watching us live on all our social media platforms like Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and I welcome with my love and respects to this beautiful and powerful session on power manifestation. Today we are going to see a very powerful demonstration of the powers of Paramashiva, how from the Agamas and Vedas these powers have been gifted down lineage by lineage, guru to disciple, to all of us to understand and to know that we are Paramashiva. Now, before that, we'll be seeing some details and what are the powers. We'll be understanding what is power manifestation. Is it some kind of occult thing, or is it really the manifestation of the super consciousness in us? So the Vedas and Agamas are the source scriptures of Hinduism, and Paramashiva reveals elaborate detail that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest the extraordinary Shaktis of Paramashiva. Manifesting powers, Shaktis, are described as a systematic method and science for human beings to explore the various possibilities and powers that are being given in the Vedas and Agamas to all of us. Now we'll be understanding what is Shaktis and what is Siddhis. What is the difference between these two? So, Shaktis are the expression from the space of enlightenment, and as a side effect of feeling connection with the divine, with divinity or the guru. Whereas the siddhis are powers that manifest from tapas or your hard work. When you put your own hard work, when you put your own effort and try to gain something, that is siddhis. And the shaktis of Paramashiva manifest through ordinary human beings and in an extraordinary way after initiation from the avatar. And shaktis are permanent, whereas siddhis are not permanent, and siddhis may divert you from the path and goal of enlightenment or the path and goal of Paramashiva. Now we'll be seeing how these powers are validated. These powers are validated in 4 different ways. So there is the Shastra Pramana, Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana, and Pratyaksha Pramana. The Shastra Pramana is the direct revelation of these powers in the Vedas and Agamas. Now, for example, we have the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, which is directly revealed by Paramashiva to the humanity. So that is the Shastra Pramana. Then we have the Apta Pramana, which is the research and the experiences of various rishis and enlightened beings who have come before us and proven to the world through scientific research that and experience that these powers are real and will take us to the highest goal of Paramashivoham. Next, we have the Atma Pramana, which is the personal experiences of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, how he manifested these powers, how he learned these powers from his guru, and after experiencing these powers, he verified them with the Shastras and the Apta Pramanas, and after that acid wash, he has given it to us as his Atma Pramana. Next, we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific research. What science has to say about these manifestations and what science is able to understand from these manifestations. Now we are going to see the source of these Shaktis. The source of these Shaktis is Paramashiva. Paramashiva is the primordial divinity in Hinduism. He is the ultimate reality and the cause with which is said. He is the cause and causeless, self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha, and all-pervading, omniscient he is. And Paramashiva is the ultimate goal and the ultimate source of all of us. Now we are going to understand the ultimate truth about manifesting Shaktis. The ultimate truth, which is the Jnana, all the powerful cognitions of Paramashiva, when it is mapped into our consciousness, it is Prajna, and when these two come together, it becomes the power manifestation, Prajnana. So first we're going to be seeing the Pramanas. As we saw earlier, the Shastra Pramana, Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana, and Pratyaksha Pramana. We are going to see for the power of third eye, how this third eye has been given to us. So now we are going to be seeing the Shastra Pramana for the power of third eye, which is the base power. In the sense, this is the space of our third eye. This is the intra organ of our third eye from which all these powers of Paramashiva are manifested. Whether it might be remote vision or body scanning, everything is manifested through the power of the third eye. So the first we'll be seeing the pramana for the power of third eye, the pramana for the power